The village of Saint-Pierre, nestled in the heart of Cantal, France, was alive with joy. It was a picture-perfect summer day, July 28th, 2024. The sun shone brightly, casting a warm glow on the lush green fields surrounding the village. A young couple, their hearts overflowing with happiness, was getting married. The wedding ceremony, held in the village's charming stone church, was a testament to the couple's love and commitment. Friends and family, dressed in their finest attire, had gathered from far and wide to witness this special moment. Tears of joy were shed as the couple exchanged vows, promising to love and cherish each other for eternity. As the ceremony concluded, the wedding party and guests made their way to the village hall, a spacious venue known for hosting countless celebrations over the years. Little did anyone know that this joyous occasion would soon transform into an unimaginable tragedy, forever etching this day in the annals of Saint-Pierre's history. The reception was in full swing at the village hall, the atmosphere electric with joy and celebration. The village hall, a sturdy stone structure that had stood for over a century, was the heart of Saint-Pierre. Its spacious hall, with its high ceilings and large windows, was perfect for hosting large events. But it was the terrace that truly set the hall apart. Extending from the main hall, the terrace offered breathtaking panoramic views of the rolling countryside. On this warm summer evening, the terrace was teeming with life. Guests, drawn by the allure of the warm summer air and the stunning views, had gathered on the terrace. However, beneath the surface of merriment, a silent danger lurked. The weight of the unsuspecting guests, combined with potential structural deficiencies, pushed the terrace to its breaking point. Without warning, the terrace floor groaned, a sickening sound that cut through the joyous chatter like a knife. Cracks, small at first, spiderwebbed across the surface, spreading with alarming speed. The guests, their laughter dying in their throats, watched in disbelief as the once solid ground beneath their feet began to give way. Then, with a deafening roar that echoed through the valley, the terrace crumbled. The wooden supports, weakened over time, snapped like matchsticks under the immense strain. The floor buckled and splintered, plunging dozens of unsuspecting guests into the abyss below. The air, once filled with music and laughter, was instantly pierced by screams of terror. The joyous celebration transformed into a scene of chaos and terror in the blink of an eye. In the immediate aftermath of the collapse, a scene of utter chaos unfolded. A cloud of dust and debris engulfed the area where the terrace once stood, obscuring the full extent of the devastation. Disoriented and injured guests struggled to free themselves from the wreckage, their cries for help echoing through the air. Those fortunate enough to have escaped the collapse unscathed reacted with a mixture of shock and disbelief. They rushed to the edge of the broken terrace, their faces etched with horror as they looked down upon the jumbled mass of debris and bodies. Word of the catastrophe spread through the village like wildfire. Within minutes, the first responders, firefighters, paramedics, and police arrived at the scene. The first responders, faced with a scene of unimaginable chaos and devastation, immediately sprang into action. The terrace collapse claimed the life of one woman, a beloved member of the Saint-Pierre community. Her life, tragically cut short, served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the indiscriminate nature of tragedy. The victim, a 69-year-old woman whose name has been withheld out of respect for her family, was known for her warm smile, her kind heart, and her unwavering commitment to her community. In addition to the tragic loss of life, the collapse left many injured, some critically. The injured, ranging in age from young children to the elderly, were rushed to nearby hospitals, their lives forever altered by the events of that day. Among the injured were members of the wedding party, their joy and excitement shattered by the tragedy. The bride and groom, their dreams of a perfect wedding day transformed into a nightmare, found themselves facing a future clouded with pain and uncertainty. The physical and emotional scars left by the collapse would forever be etched into the hearts and minds of the victims and their families. The small village of Saint-Pierre, a place unaccustomed to such tragedy, was left reeling. In the wake of the terrace collapse, a palpable sense of shock and grief descended upon the tranquil village of Saint-Pierre. The vibrant tapestry of life, so full of color and celebration just hours earlier, seemed to fade to a muted grey as the community grappled with the enormity of the tragedy. The village hall, once a symbol of community and celebration, now stood as a stark reminder of the tragedy. The shattered remnants of the terrace, the scattered debris, and the yellow tape cordoning off the area served as a constant and painful reminder of the lives lost and forever altered. News of the collapse spread quickly, reaching far beyond the idyllic borders of Saint-Pierre. Messages of condolence and support poured in from neighboring towns, from across France and from around the world. Yet, amidst the shock and grief, the resilient spirit of Saint-Pierre began to emerge. The community, bound by shared history and a strong sense of unity, instinctively came together to support one another in their time of need. As the dust settled and the initial shock began to subside, a collective demand for answers emerged from the heart of the devastated community. The question on everyone's mind was simple yet profound. How could this have happened? The authorities, recognizing the urgency and gravity of the situation, launched a full-scale investigation into the cause of the Terrace collapse. A team of experienced investigators, engineers and building inspectors descended upon the site, determined to meticulously piece together the events that led to the catastrophic failure. Their task was twofold: to provide answers to the grieving families and to prevent such a tragedy from ever happening again. The investigation, a complex and multifaceted undertaking, focused on a number of key areas. The structural integrity of the terrace itself, including the age and condition of the materials used in its construction, was of paramount importance. The weight load on the terrace at the time of the collapse was another critical factor under scrutiny. In the face of unimaginable loss and grief, the true spirit of the Saint-Pierre community shone through. The villagers, their hearts heavy with sorrow, instinctively reached out to one another, offering comfort, support, and a shoulder to cry on. The village hall, once the scene of unimaginable chaos and despair, was transformed into a hub of support and solidarity. Volunteers, their faces etched with concern and compassion, worked tirelessly to provide food, water, and emotional support to the families of the victims and those who had been injured. Local businesses, their storefronts draped in black ribbons as a mark of respect, stepped forward to offer assistance. Restaurants provided meals to families gathered at the village hall, their kitchens working overtime to ensure that no one went hungry. The community's response to the tragedy went beyond practical support. Candlelight vigils were held, the soft glow of the flames illuminating the tear-stained faces of mourners as they shared stories, offered prayers, and found comfort in one another's presence. The terrace collapse in Saint-Pierre was a tragedy that shook the community to its core, leaving an enduring scar on its collective psyche. The road to recovery, both physical and emotional, promised to be long and arduous, but the emotional toll would take much longer to mend. The community of Saint-Pierre rallied around those most deeply affected by the tragedy. The tragic terrace collapse in Saint-Pierre served as a stark and somber reminder of the importance of building safety and the critical need for vigilance in ensuring that public spaces are held to the highest standards. The investigation, though still ongoing, has already yielded valuable lessons that, if heeded, could help prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. One of the key takeaways from the investigation is the importance of regular and thorough inspections of older buildings, particularly those used for public gatherings. The passage of time, coupled with exposure to the elements, can take a toll on even the sturdiest of structures. Regular inspections by qualified professionals can help identify potential weaknesses or areas of concern before they escalate into catastrophic failures. The tragedy in Saint-Pierre also highlighted the need for clear and enforceable building codes and regulations. These codes, designed to ensure the safety and structural integrity of buildings, must be comprehensive, up-to-date, and rigorously enforced. Building permits, inspections, and certifications should be mandatory, with strict penalties for non-compliance. The terrace collapse in Saint-Pierre, a tragedy that claimed one life and injured many others, left an indelible mark on the small French village. Yet from the depths of this tragedy, the resilient spirit of Saint-Pierre emerged. The community came together to support one another and to begin the long and arduous process of healing. The village will rebuild stronger than before, its spirit unbroken.